Hi, this is Dr. Guru Prasad, Associate Professor of Physics, M. Kumarasamy College of Engineering, Karur. Through this video lecture, I would like to explain the principle and working of Nd:YAG laser. What is laser? Laser is nothing but light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Here, we are going to amplify the light by performing the process stimulated emission. Why should we study about laser? What is the special thing the laser have? Compared to the conventional light, the laser have few special characteristics. Laser is a highly coherent beam. It is highly directional beam. Its intensity is high, and it is a monochromatic source. Because of its characteristics, it finds applications in many different fields. In medicinal field, we are using laser light to do surgery, and in the engineering field, for cutting, welding and drilling, we are using laser radiation. In the military also, we are using laser radiation as a range finder. For open air communication also we are using laser. Since it has applications in many different fields, one should know how can we generate the light radiations from the system. Through this lecture, I am going to explain how can we get a light radiation from the Nd:YAG system. Three different quantum process one has to perform if the laser radiations should be generated. The first quantum process is nothing but stimulated absorption. Generally, there are more number of atoms are there in the ground state compared to the excited state. At this moment, if you provide energy to the ground state atom, means the ground state atom absorb that energy and it makes transition to the excited state. This process is referred as spontaneous absorption. Now, I would like to explain the second quantum process called spontaneous emission. Now, after performing the stimulated absorption process, one can find more number of atoms are there in the excited state compared to the ground state. This situation is known as population inversion. Generally, one can find more number of atoms are there in the ground state. But if the excited state have more number of atoms compared to the ground state, means that is nothing but a population inversion. So after achieving population inversion, the excited state atom makes transition to the ground state in a spontaneous manner and it emits light radiation. Whenever the atom jump from the excited state to ground state, it release the energy, excess energy, maybe in the form of light or maybe with some other mode. This process is referred as spontaneous emission. The third quantum process is nothing but stimulated emission. Here we are going to send a photon and assume that the photon triggers the excited state. Because of the triggering, the excited state atom make transition to the ground state, means at that time also one can expect the emission of radiation. So here the process occurs because of the influence of, because of the triggering of the external photon which we have applied. So this process is nothing but a stimulated emission. The photon gets multiplied during the process of stimulated emission. So if anyone has to generate a high intensity radiation, means he has to perform more number of stimulated emission compared to the spontaneous emission. Okay, let's see how the Nd:YAG laser is and how it works. Nd:YAG laser comes under the category of solid state. Here we are going to use Nd:YAG crystal as an active medium. What is active medium? Active medium is where we can perform the population inversion, where we can achieve the population inversion and where we can achieve the lasing action. That medium is known as active medium. In Nd:YAG laser, neodymium doped YAG crystal is going to act as an active medium. This laser can also be known as 4-level solid state laser. Here the transition is occurring between the 4 energy levels. So this laser system can be known as 4-level laser system. For pumping process, we are going to use xenon lamp radiation, and here we are using the optical pumping method, and thereby we are going to achieve the population inversion condition. As I mentioned earlier, one should perform more number of stimulated emission compared to the spontaneous emission, then only we can derive the high intensity radiation from the system. In order to perform more number of stimulated emission, we are supposed to send back the photon which is emitted because of the spontaneous emission to the active medium again. For that, we are going to use an optical resonator. So optical resonator is a mirror arrangement which helps to send back the emitted photon back to the system again. Let's see how can we construct the Nd:YAG laser. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to perform the lasing action in the Nd:YAG crystal, neodymium doped yttrium aluminum garnet crystal. We are going to add a small amount of neodymium 3+ ion in the yttrium aluminum garnet material, and we are going to grow the crystals. The grown crystal is in the rod shape, which we are using in to construct the Nd:YAG laser. The crystal ends are polished and 2 mirrors are placed at the end of the crystal, one having fully reflection property and another one having partially reflecting property. This mirror setup is going to act as an optical resonator. In order to perform the optical pumping, the Nd:YAG crystal is placed near to the xenon flash lamp. So the xenon flash lamps going to provide energy to the ground state atom and to pump the ground state atom to the excited state. This is the pictorial representation of Nd:YAG laser system. Here we have a laser rod that is nothing but a Nd:YAG crystal which is in the rod form, and as I mentioned earlier, the ends are polished. At the end of the Nd:YAG crystal, we are going to place 2 mirrors this is the first mirror which have 100% reflection property, and this is mirror 2 which we have placed at another end of the rod, and this mirror have partially reflection property. The laser rod or the India crystal is placed near to the flash lamp. Let's see how the system is working. This is the energy level diagram of Nd3 plus. So generally one can find the atoms, more number of atoms in the ground state. E1 is the ground state and E2, E3, E4 are the excited state. And assume that this is nothing but an neodymium 3 plus ions. Initially they are in the ground state. Now we are going to flash the light from the xenon lamp, and the photon which is coming out from the xenon lamp have energy, and it strike the neodymium 3 plus ion, and the neodymium 3 plus ion absorb the energy from the xenon photon from which is emitted from the xenon lamp, and it makes excited to E4 state. The energy difference between E4 state and the E1 state is equal to the energy of the xenon lamp. Hence, this ground state neodymium 3 plus ion absorb the photon of xenon lamp, and it makes transition to the excited state. The lifetime in this E4 excited state is very less. Hence, the neodymium 3 plus ions stay only lesser time there in the E4 state, and it immediately makes transition to E3 state. The lifetime in the E3 state is quite high compared to the lifetime there in E4 state. Hence, the neodymium 3 plus ions get accumulated there in this E3 state. So the population inversion has been achieved there in the E3 state. One can find more number of neodymium 3 plus ion in the E3 state compared to E2 state. Once the population inversion achieved means spontaneously the ion make transition from E3 state to E2 state, and the energy difference is emitted in the form of light radiation. Here the transition from E3 to E2 emits a light with a wavelength of 1.06 micrometer. Once again, the lifetime there in the E2 state is quite low. Hence, the ions may not stay for a longer time there in the E2 state, and it makes transition to E1 state immediately, so that one can able to maintain the population inversion there in the E3 state and can continuously derive the light radiation from the system. Now, so far we have achieved the stimulated absorption and spontaneous emission process. The transition from E1 to E4 referred as a spontaneous absorption. Stimulated absorption. And the transition from E3 to E2 is referred as spontaneous emission. So E1 to E4 stimulated absorption and E3 to E2 spontaneous emission. In order to get a high intensity radiation, we are supposed to perform more number of stimulated emission process, and we have mirror setup here. So the spontaneously emitted photon hits the mirror and sent back to the active medium once again. So those photons, now we have a mirror setup here, and this is 100% reflected mirror. This is partially reflected mirror. Let us assume this emitted photon hits the mirror and sent back to the active medium like this. This photon, the reflected photon, triggers the neodymium 3+ ion which is there in this E3 state, and it pressurized to make transition to E2 state. Whenever the ions jumps from E3 state to E2 state, it emits photon, and these reflected photons also we get back. So we have done a stimulated emission process here, and we got 2 photons. Now these 2 photons are reflected and sent back to the active medium because of the mirror which we placed here, and those 2 photons triggers 2 more neodymium ions from E3 state to make transition to E2 state, which leads emission of 4 photons. In this way one can able to multiply the number of photons, and literally we are speaking as we are doing light amplification. So after a few while, through this partially reflecting mirror, the high radiations will come out, and with the radiation of 1.06 micrometer. All the emitted photons are in phase, hence the output of this system have higher intensity. So this is the characteristics of Nd:YAG laser. Nd:YAG laser emits radiation with a wavelength of 1.06 micrometer, and which occurs because of the transition of neodymium 3+ ion from E3 to E2 state. And after performing the stimulated emission process, the light radiation coming out through the partially reflected mirror with the power 70 watt. As I mentioned earlier, one can use the laser radiation in different fields. Particularly this Nd:YAG laser can be used for the purpose of welding, cutting, drilling, carving, etc. And to find the range and to find the target, the Nd:YAG laser is being used. And for communication system purpose also, one can use this Nd:YAG laser. So in this way, in a simple manner, one can get or one can derive the laser radiation from the system in an effective manner. Thank you.